Welcome to 101. I'm Greg Bassey, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper, and it's another big day here at PAC 14. And I'm one of those people who would never talk to me if I didn't have a TV show. It's Jackie Jennings. Welcome, Jackie.
That's so wrong.
It's so true. I actually coined that phrase when you were here a year ago, and I got lots of positive reaction because people were like, "That's true." It's like you're like that guy who tries to go up to talk to that girl at lunch in high school, and she wants nothing to do with you, but she knows that you'll make a scene in front of everyone unless, okay, I've lost it now.
This is like therapy for you, right? One-on-one therapy. We're all here today. Anything you'd like to talk about?
No, actually, I'm good.
Okay.
That's good. But you're here to talk about the Clue Caper.
I am.
Which is a tradition you started with Phil Tillman. You would come in and talk about the Clue Caper, and we're going to talk about the Clue Caper. So tell me, what is the Clue Caper?
What is the Clue Caper? All right, so this is the 7th year for the Clue Caper.
We see your signs all over town.
You do, good, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Clue Caper is April 10th
And for me,
this year.
it's like the first sign is spring, because it's always
So
like
funny.
really cold weather when those signs start coming up,
Right.
and then right after that, it's like they're like little daffodils.
Right, every
out
year
there.
we put the signs out, it snows.
Right.
So we waited this year until after the snow in
Right.
January to put the signs out. So the signs are out. Yeah, the Clue Caper is April 10th
Right.
this year.
April 10th. That's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday afternoon, right? And the Clue Caper is a giant scavenger hunt all over Wicomico County. So the craziest things you can think of, really fun clues, teams get together. We have about 50 teams of 2 to 5 people, and we give them a book full of clues.
And I was in the book last year.
You were in
The honor of my life to be a clue.
Yeah, we'll put up the picture.
I was a clue.
You were a clue last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good clue too.
And the clue was what you want your career not to become.
I don't think
Something like
was
that.
it.
And it was a picture of me.
I don't think
Okay.
that was it. Yeah, it was you and
Samuel Paca.
Yes.
A
We'll
signer
put
of the
picture up.
Declaration of Independence. Yes.
We'll put the picture up. So you get a clue book. It has 12 to 15 clues in it. You have to solve the clues. And the clues will take you to a location in Wicomico County. Once you get there, you have to perform some kind of
Stunt.
activity. Right? You may have to eat cupcakes or take a fencing class or play tennis or do something.
Hula hoop.
Hula hoop, exactly. And then once you complete your task, you get a stamp in your book. You have 3 hours to complete all of the clues and get to the final location across the finish line. And the team that solves the most puzzles, completes the most tasks, and gets there first wins $1,000
$1,000
for the team and $1,000 to donate to the charity of their choice. So it's been a great event.
And they donate it back to Village of Hope, or they donate it anywhere
Sometimes they do. We've had them donate to the Humane Society. We've had them donate to a couple other charities around town. So it's a great opportunity for nonprofits who we know struggle to raise money. It's a great opportunity for nonprofits to put a team together and enter and help us and help themselves.
Now you're doing all this for the Village of Hope. What is the Village of Hope?
Village of Hope is a transitional home for women here in Salisbury, but it serves the 3 lower counties. So we have women from Somerset, from Worcester, from Wicomico. It's about a dozen apartments. We're doing a little bit of renovating right now, but it's about a dozen apartments, so we can house a dozen women and their children.
Right.
So
and that's the key, to have the kids there and the families together.
it is the key, especially when you think what the alternative is. I mean, women living in cars with their children, women bouncing from relative to relative with their children. So while this is very much women-centered, the kids benefit enormously from having that kind of stability in their lives, right? You can concentrate on school if you know where you're sleeping at night.
Right.
So that's what the Village of Hope does. And the Village of Hope celebrated its 25th anniversary.
Really? 25
last year.
years? Wow. It's all transitional. They're not there forever.
They're not there forever. They're there for 2 years, though, because truly
it takes that long.
Homelessness isn't something you solve
Right.
overnight. So they get parenting classes and, finance classes, and we make sure that they are up to date on all their health appointments, and the kids are up to date, and A lot of counseling happens. So we really want to get them to a place where after 2 years they can be self-sufficient,
Right.
because that's the goal for all of this. And we want the children to see their mothers succeeding and becoming self-sufficient.
Yeah, that's so important.
Well, to break this cycle,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so much of homelessness is generational.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, it's a great program. It's a great
25
program.
years.
25 years. Yeah.
And it started, of course, as Joseph House Village, and we laugh all the time that people still call it that.
It did. So yeah, can we just talk about that for a minute? So it started as Joseph House Village. The two are very much we work together,
Sure.
but it's two very separate charities now. But yes, and we still get checks that say Joseph House Village. So we turn them over to Joseph House Village, but we know they were meant for Village of Hope.
Just shows how strong the branding is for
Well,
Joseph
right.
House.
So we need to do some more branding for Village of
Right.
Hope. So Village of Hope, write your checks to the Village of Hope. Yeah, but support a team. I mean, we'll have 50 teams, so very likely everyone watching this will know someone who's on a team.
Right.
Yeah, go online, firstgiving.com or greatcluecaper.com, and find a team and support it, or build your own team. Teams have so much fun. We have teams come back year after year after year.
Right.
Not always the same team, because we've talked about this before.
Members
right? Husbands
don't necessarily
and
get
wives
along.
tend to fight, and then the year
Yeah.
after we'll have the all-male team and the all-female team, so that seems to work a little bit better.
The Village is over there on Lake Street.
It is.
Great facility over there, and that's where the event starts from.
The event starts at the Village of Hope. We really like to give people a sense of, this is a real,
What they're doing
this is a
this
real
for.
thing, and this
Yeah.
is what you're doing it for. Yeah, we have a great time. We have a band there for check-in. You check in the morning, and there's a lot of camaraderie and donuts and food, and everybody hangs out.
Donuts?
Donuts, I know, right? It's a good reason to be there. And we give them their clue books, and we send them off. Now, this is a fundraiser, so
Now,
there's
Sheriff Lewis or Chief Duncan or both
Right.
usually send
them
everyone
off with a warning.
Little lecture
right,
about how to
right.
drive.
You're going to be careful. It's a
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, so you want to be careful driving around Wicomico County. But once they go, they're off around the county, and they have a great time. And then we have a big party at the end.
Right. Now, are you going to tell me this year where the party is? So
I
I
am
can
going to
just...
tell you where the party
Oh,
is.
it's not
Are you
a
gonna
secret.
come? Are you going to come to
well,
the party?
If I didn't come last year,
Or are
you
you going to
wouldn't
have a
tell
team?
me where it was.
Right, because last year was a secret. So this year's, it's at Purdue Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're excited. So we're working with Purdue.
Wow. Can we run the bases after that?
I don't think we're allowed on the field because it's April 10th and opening day is like 4 days later.
Yeah.
So they'll have everything spruced up, and the food is going to be great. And
Purdue
we'll have
Stadium.
a band there. Yeah, Alex and Shiloh will be our band.
They're not really a band.
They're awesome, though.
No, they're just brothers and sisters,
Yeah,
and
but they're
like a guy with a guitar.
Incredibly talented.
They really are.
Incredibly talented. Yeah. So that's, I can't tell you about the clues because they're top secret.
And they're all in this book, so the participants get a book, and you...
Yeah, and they could
chart.
be anything. So you could have a clue that's in Morse code, or you could have a clue that, is a photo and you have to go find it, or you might have to find someone, or something around the county.
This is like in
year.
movies where there's the precursor, like they'll mention, like wind,
tease.
and at the end of the movie there's going to be a tornado or something.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
this is what
true.
you're doing. You're setting little clues out even now in this interview about
Right.
what a person.
Right. We put a clue in the Salisbury Independent last year.
Did we?
We did. It was,
Do I remember this?
you do, because I got calls for weeks for people who couldn't
Oh, it was in the
figure it out.
story.
It was in the story.
Yeah, or was it
in
the
the-
interview we did with you?
No, it was in the interview. Right. but it
Right.
was in
We
the
did a
story.
big Q&A with Jackie, and there
And
was
there
a
was
clue in there. You're right.
an anagram, I think.
Right. There was an anagram,
And yeah.
and I didn't understand it. You just told me what to put in, and I didn't understand it, and I never.
Right, because you have to have plausible deniability. Right.
Well, I'm just not smart. I mean, anagrams are very confusing to me.
Yeah. So it was great. It was a great clue. So maybe we'll do that again.
That would be cool.
Maybe we'll put a clue in the Salisbury Independent.
We're game.
You think?
We're game for that. Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right.
I don't know how we would do it, but yeah. And of course, the famous one, the first year, the clue that was in the Daily Times.
Right. Look under trucks.
Yeah.
I still hear about that.
Yeah.
A lot. So for not everyone has this history, but the clue was look under trucks, and so all day the teams everywhere they went were looking under pickup trucks
Trucks for a
and
clue.
semi trucks and it was look under trucks in the
Classified
in the
section of the
classified
newspaper.
section of the newspaper.
Yeah.
So that was a good one.
Because people came to the newspaper and looked under the trucks.
Right.
The delivery
Instead of
trucks.
looking under trucks.
Yeah, it was
But yeah,
nice.
so I have two great committees. I have a committee that puts the pre-party and the post-party together and handles all of the advertising. And then I have a great top secret clue committee
Right.
who comes up with all of this crazy clues and stunts.
Now, do they come up with the clues, or do they just test your clues? Because I can imagine you riding around, and your brain working on clues all the time.
Right. So anytime from about January until April, every time I ride around the county, just randomly, just to find something that I haven't found before, or
Right.
an intersection. Oh, that's an interesting intersection where those two roads come together, and yeah, clues just happen.
I think from your visit here last year, you came up with a clue for Pack 14.
Yes.
Because this site where this building is where Samuel Packa his house was when he was a kid.
Correct.
And there's a historic sign outside.
Well, there was a historic sign outside.
Did you hit it with your car?
No, they moved it.
They moved it.
Between the time we put out the clue
Oh no!
and the clue caper, they moved the sign.
Oh, I missed that.
So we tell the teams, like, sometimes it works.
Where'd they move the sign to?
I think Somerset County. I think they moved it down to Somerset County.
That's a big surveyor error then.
But Pack 14 was a clue site last
Right.
year, so the teams had to come
Right.
and record a PSA,
Right.
which I hope are running, so to advertise the clue caper. So yeah, we use local businesses, we use local parks, we use historical landmarks. Anything can be a clue. And I will say for our teams who are watching this year, you want to pay attention. This is the year that you really want to pay. If something seems unusual, pay attention.
So is the key word there pay
No,
or
it's
attention? Attention.
Keep your eye out.
Clue caper.
Yep, keep your eye out.
This is, I've been told, the biggest fundraising event in our community.
That's good to know. I don't think it is.
Like
I think it's the most fun.
The Dancing with the Stars was a big financier, but now this is the one that raises the most money.
Well, we raised about $75,000 last year, so it's probably not.
Wow.
I know. The first year we raised, I think, 48. So we've really come a long way. But the teams do all the work, right? These teams are amazing, and we've had teams with us for 7 years, and new teams.
Who won
And there
last
are some
year?
incentive.
Do you
The
remember?
Woo Girls
The
won
Woo
last
Girls.
year by about 4 seconds.
Now, they were contenders previously.
Yeah, they've always been in the top
Right.
5, top 10. We
And
had a
there's
team
some
that
altercation there at the end where they don't get along and they screw it up, I think, right?
No, we've had really strong teams, and so we had
Right.
a team called Search and Seizure that won 2 years in a row,
And they're cops.
and they came in second last year by 4 seconds. So that's how tight this race is. But back to the fundraising for a minute. So the teams, we give them incentives. So you start the race in the order of the money that you raise.
Right.
So if you raise the most money, you start first. If you
Right.
raise the second most money, you raise second. So every dollar that you raise for the Village of Hope counts somewhere in that spectrum of the time that you leave. But also, if you raise $1,000, you get to skip one of the clues. So that gives you,
Wow.
you still get credit for it, but you get to skip it. So
Right.
that gives you a little more time.
How many total
Right.
clues are there?
Well, it depends. Sometimes there's 12, sometimes there's 15.
So if I raise 15 grand, I just win?
No, you only get to skip one.
Okay.
You get to skip one clue.
Okay.
Right, so that's your
All
bonus. You get a fast pass if you raise, I think it's $750. So if you show up at a clue site and there's a bunch of teams there to do an activity, you get to skip to the head of the line to do the activity.
Boy, I bet that makes people
So that's
mad.
a good one.
Right.
It just encourages people to raise money. If you raise $50, so, basic, you get a phone a friend clue. So if you're really stuck, you can
Right.
call in and we'll give you a pretty good hint, if not the answer. So it's great. And what's been really fun to see this is 7 years ago when we started, most people had phones but didn't have smartphones.
Right.
And so smartphones have changed the dynamic of
You
the
can
race
Google
completely.
everything
You
now.
can Google, so we have to come up with things that you can't Google,
Right.
but also the use of social media. So on Clue Caper Day, we had a clue last year that talked about the Morse building at the Village of Hope. And it says on the top of the building, Morse building, but nobody sees it. Nobody
Right.
knows what that building is, but it was one of the clues. So all day, people were, on Facebook and Twitter, tweeting anyone named Morris in this town to find out, who this person was and where this building was.
Right.
And so to just watch it kind of blow up on Facebook on Sunday afternoon is really, really fun. So.
And the locals would know that's Morse. The Morse is from Shore Distributors,
Right,
who are big,
right.
big benefactors.
Yeah,
there.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's a good time, and I really like that it brings in the history of the area. You'll learn something you didn't know. You'll go somewhere that you didn't know existed. That's fun for me. It's
Right.
just kind of the educational piece.
I remember the
of all
first
of
year
it.
you had the Mason-Dixon boundaries.
Right.
And there were so many
Right.
people who told me they didn't even know that those things existed.
That there was a marker.
Which
Right.
stuns me, because
Right.
we're all raised on that here, but people who've moved here might not even know that it's there, and it's so cool.
Well, it is cool. And I will say, every year I make my trek up to the visitor center
Right.
up north and go through all the, historical brochures and pamphlets, and I always learn something and take that back to my Clue team and say, okay, how can we incorporate this
Right.
into the race? So it's fascinating. We have fascinating history here that is amazing to learn.
That's so cool. Now, is there betting on this? Can you bet on teams? I think that would add to the,
It would
the
add to it,
fundraising
wouldn't it?
thing. You got to think
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
we'll have to figure that out. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
get like squares or something.
See?
Do you think?
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
good.
Yeah, but we really want to encourage teams. If
Yeah.
you've never done it, it might be a little bit intimidating to sign up, but once you do it, you'll love it. You'll love it. So greatcluecaper.com,
Right.
right? So bring your coworkers or your kids. Well, kids can do it. It's a very family-friendly race. Someone on the team has to be over 18 to sign the waiver. But yeah, it's open to families. We've had families do it and have a great time. We've had coworkers do it and have a great time. Husbands and wives, not so much. But we do offer some therapy at the end. So
That's good.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Yeah, some
So,
counseling.
and then we'll
So
come
there'll
out
be
and
some
we'll have
lawyers
some,
present to
exactly,
divide property. That's good.
exactly. And then
That's
we'll
a good
have some
thing.
food at Shorebird Stadium and some adult beverages and raise money for a great cause.
That
It's
sounds
a
like fun.
great day.
And the weather, it's always the first beautiful day of the year.
Oh, knock on wood.
Yeah, somehow you manage to get that
Yeah,
every
I
year.
think the sisters have that connection,
Yeah.
and
You think they pray for the weather?
I think they do. I think they do. We have a rain plan every year,
Yeah.
and yet we have not
yeah.
had to use it. And last year, I think it snowed the weekend before.
It did, because the Tim
Clue
Kennard
Caper.
was the
Right,
weekend,
yes.
and it snowed during
And it
that. Oh no,
snowed.
it was a month before that. No, never mind. But yes, it did
Yeah,
snow
it
right
did,
up
right.
before your event last
Yes,
year.
we were worried, but
Yeah.
we've always had great weather and great people. I mean, just people from all walks of life come and do this event and meet new people, and yeah, so I can't say enough good things about it.
Now, we were talking about this. You were here a year ago. It was one of my early shows in the first months that
Yeah,
I was
you're much better
doing.
now.
I know, I'm not
Yeah.
much better. But it's the third most viewed show that we've done on YouTube.
Yeah, so I want to know who's first and who's second and what I need to do to kind of surpass that.
First is Chris Eccleston,
Okay.
which I have no idea why he's first, because
Okay.
it was just not a great interview. But he's an interesting guy, but it's hard to get stuff out of him. And he just shaved his beard, so I was all
Oh,
freaked
maybe
out.
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been that. People didn't want to see him without his beard.
Okay.
And then the second was Brad Gillis. And they're up in the hundreds in terms of
Really?
views of this.
Okay.
And then you're right there.
All right, so I need to work on that.
Yeah.
That's what
So
you're telling me.
You're ahead of Jake Day and all the other people.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna blast this out to all my Facebook and Twitter friends.
We were tracking. Your mom did watch it.
Did she?
1,100 times.
I'm sure she
1,100
did.
times she
I
watched
have no
it.
doubt.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
So yeah, there was a little address in Pittsburgh that kept pinging on
Right.
it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
And it was a charming show, and it was just fun. So yeah, we can't possibly duplicate that.
It's always fun.
Is it always fun?
Yeah, and you need to have a team this year for the Clue
I'm just
Caper
not
to come
smart
out and have
enough.
fun. You are.
No,
You are smart
no,
enough.
I'm not. And it's Master Sunday.
Well, yeah, I have heard that. But that's the really interesting thing about these teams too, is because I have this great committee that comes up with very different clues. I mean, there's one way that I think, there's one way that you think, and then there's people who think completely different.
Right.
It's good to have that variety on your team, because you'll have 4 people on a team who can't get the
Right.
answer, can't get the answer, and then all of a sudden the 5th person says, "Well, that's easy. Why
Yeah, what
didn't
about
you
the
think
obvious
of it this way?"
thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's at the end of the race, it's fun for me to go around and figure out and just talk to people and see where they got stuck and why they got stuck. And there are some, there are some red herrings. We try to send people in the wrong direction sometimes, but then there are people who end up in Dorchester County and I can't figure out what I said to cause that. But that's where they are. So
I like to bet on the teams though, and to bet on the divorces after.
I don't think we've had any of those, but yeah, it's definitely you're in close quarters for 3 hours, and
Yeah.
and there's a lot at stake, right?
A lot, yes.
$1,000.
A lot of pride. I mean, at that
$1,000.
event at the end, when you announce the winners, it is serious business. Those people want to win.
They do.
I mean,
They do.
they
But
have-
how exciting is it that they're so invested in it?
They are.
Right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And that one year, I think the Wycomico Day School team stopped to help someone and lost.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lesson
Yeah.
there.
But they got the Good Samaritan Award.
Right.
Right.
But that doesn't mean anything.
They didn't get the $1,000. Yeah. So
We'll go back to this, but you were in
Okay.
the paper recently.
I was.
Your real job during the day is you are Director of Corporate Communications for Piedmont Airlines.
Right.
And it's so amazing to me that people don't understand that Piedmont Airlines is based here in Salisbury, and it's an important business in our community.
Well, it is confusing, right? Because we're not the original Piedmont Airlines
Right.
that started in North Carolina. So anybody with any aviation history thinks, oh wait, Piedmont, they went away,
Yeah.
but now they're back.
We all used to fly Piedmont to Greensboro
Right,
and to
exactly,
Raleigh.
exactly. So what happened was Piedmont, the big original Piedmont, merged with then U.S. Air.
Right.
And we were Henson, which was started in Hagerstown and moved to Salisbury. So there's
Right.
a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then Piedmont, the original Piedmont, bought Henson.
Right.
And then when Piedmont merged with U.S. Air and took the U.S. Air name, we took the Piedmont name just to keep the
Right.
legacy. So we have the legacy Speedbird logo. But yeah, 6,000 people, growing strong. We've added 1,500 people in the last 18 months.
Amazing.
It's huge. Great things are happening. We are spread out all over the country. We manage airport operations in Anchorage, Alaska, in California, in Texas. We fly on the East Coast. We just added jets to the fleet. By all indications, American Airlines, our parent company, wants us to grow and grow, so we expect to add many more jets
Right.
to the fleet.
So you fly for American Eagle, which is the commuter jet line
Correct.
for American.
For American, right, so the regional jet.
And the current routes are still Philadelphia and Charlotte.
Right.
Is there still a flight to D.C. in the morning?
We
Like the first
had a
out?
flight many years ago, but
Okay.
but no,
Okay.
and that's not a great jet route anyways. 'Cause
Right.
It's too close.
But your CEO, Lyle Hogg, who might be the nicest person I've interviewed in months and months and months, who was just terrific and
Yeah.
helpful,
Yeah.
he hinted that that Charlotte might be a route for
It's
the
a
jets.
it's a good jet
Yeah.
route. So we don't make. It's funny that I say route and you say route, but anyway.
I'm from the Eastern Shore of
That's
Maryland.
true.
so-
It's American puts together the route structure, so we don't have any say in it. But but our job is to fly people from small towns into the American Airlines hubs. So
Right.
Salisbury to Charlotte, or Allentown to Philadelphia, or Ithaca to wherever. So that's what we do. But I want to make one point of clarification. Our CEO is Steve Farrow.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
he's still our CEO.
what's Lyle's-
Lyle is our new president.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and Steve is going to retire later this year. He has been there forever. This is his family's airline.
Right.
So we're pretty heartbroken, but Lyle is fantastic and comes in also with a great amount of energy and knowledge and experience, and so we're in a really good place.
That explains something to
Mm-hmm.
me because you have a picture about to go into the Salisbury Independent where Piedmont raised a tremendous amount of money for the United Way.
Right, right.
And Steve looks like he's kind of like standing in front of Lyle in this photo.
Okay.
And I was like, why is he standing in front of the boss? It's because he is the boss.
He is the boss, yes.
See?
Yes, he's still
now
the
I
boss.
understand that.
He's
Yeah,
still the boss
yeah.
until he retires later this year.
That's
but,
interesting.
Yeah.
I thought, this guy, he's blocking out the boss.
Nope. Steve's the boss. Lyle is
but no,
great.
you guys raised like 60 grand for United Way.
We raised $50,001
Yeah.
because it sounded better.
Who threw in the dollar?
Me.
Is that your
so I
total
could say that.
contribution to United Way?
Well, no.
Okay, good.
But it was great. So what we do is we have something called a dash pool, where the dashes are the turboprops that we fly.
Right.
And we have teams
dash
all around the
eights.
country where you put a team of 8 together and you have to pull the plane as fast as you can. And the team that pulls it in the fastest time, I think it's 15 feet, 15 yards, I don't remember, wins. And we give them a trophy and prizes and, so it's a great event. So we have it in Charlotte, we have it in Philadelphia, we have it in Salisbury, we do one in Roanoke, we do one in Harrisburg. And we raise money for the United Way.
Wow.
And we're happy to contribute it here. And so I think we were 10th last year for United Way fundraisers in the area, and this year we're up to maybe 4.
Yet you're way up there. I mean, for a
So-
company that not many people realize is here.
Yeah, so we're very excited.
Yeah.
We're very excited.
That's a tremendous, tremendous thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it helps, right? And so the United Way helps fund the Village of Hope, so it all
Right.
ties together. Yeah, we're all in this together.
Right. So jets to Philadelphia doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense because the trip would be like a minute.
Right, and it's not fuel efficient, right? It's not fuel efficient to put
Right.
a jet up in the air to land it in Philadelphia. So
Right.
you really do want to think of cost, because if you're spending more on fuel, then you're spending more on tickets. So
Right.
yeah, but I would suspect we would see a Charlotte to Salisbury flight at some point in the future.
Right. Now, you guys just signed a lease out there at the airport, and County Executive Bob Culver, I guess, was very helpful in getting that done. You guys have gone without a lease for a long time.
Right.
So now there's actually a lease,
That's good.
which is good.
Right.
So the county can hold you accountable, for cleaning up your messes,
Right.
Pay your safety deposit and all that stuff.
Okay.
But you all are expanding out there too, and you're going into the David Ward building.
We're going into the David Ward building, and we're actually probably going to need more space after that. I mean, the amount that we're growing right now is just unbelievable. Yeah. So we're adding a whole pilot recruiting department because that's the more planes we add, obviously the more pilots we need to fly them.
Right.
So we'll be adding that. I'm actually going to get a department. So,
Really?
Yes.
So you get like a staff?
I will. Yeah. So I need to hire some corporate communication specialists. Right. So yeah, send me an email if you
Wow.
have social media knowledge. And
So I might have a career path after all.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Come on over. Send me your resume because I got to make sure that you're
big,
up to the task.
It's got big gaps in it.
But yeah, so we're adding people. We're adding people everywhere, and we've moved over to the David Ward building in one section of it, and we've already outgrown that. So it's exciting.
Now, who was David Ward?
Oh, tell me.
See, no one knows.
I've read the plaque. Maybe I'll put that in the clue caper.
He was our congressman.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think probably the last congressman.
When that airport opened.
Yeah, I think he was
Okay.
the last congressman from Salisbury, from the first district. Yeah, but no one remembers him. It's a
What
shame.
year would that be?
The 40s, the wartime, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know when that terminal opened.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I should know, but I don't know. Right. But we're so lucky to have that airport, and we're so lucky to have Piedmont. So, thank you for being there.
Well, I mean, it would be so difficult for me. I don't know. I'm sure many other people to not have scheduled air service in your community. I mean, I know people drive to Philadelphia and drive to Baltimore and and I think, why?
Yeah.
You walk in, security's so easy.
It's easy.
I get halfway there, I realize I forgot something, I drive home, I pick it up, I come back.
And everyone's so nice.
Parking is great.
Yeah.
It's easy to get in and out. So
yeah. It's a great thing.
So we do love it.
All right, we got to do your hat thing that we do.
Are we out of time? Okay.
We're out of
time. Do I have time to ask you questions?
No. Unless you want to come
back. Okay, but how is the paper? The paper's good?
Paper's great. The paper is unbelievable. You asked this question a year ago, and I was stunned at how good it was, and it's a year later, and it's still amazing. I have no idea why.
Good. We love it. It's a great asset to the community.
It's so much fun. It doesn't even feel like work. It's just so much fun.
That's the key.
I'm so conditioned to people hating the newspaper, and when they tell me they love the paper, and I can't, I don't even know how to react.
Good. Well, I love the paper. The paper's great.
It's just fun.
The paper's great. So are you wearing a hat? What are we
I'm
doing?
going to wear this blue hat. Is it
Okay.
blue? What color is this?
That's fuchsia, I would call it.
Did you bring your glass? You
didn't.
You didn't bring the glass?
I didn't bring the glass. Okay.
Now you give the spiel about. Oh, I have to go there too?
We have to look this way. All right, so Great Clue Caper, April 10th, 2016. Sign up now. Registration is open at greatcluecaper.com.
What she said. Jackie Jennings, it's a pleasure to have you here as always. Not as exciting as last year, but we'll do a better show next year.
It's great to be here. This is a great show. We're going to be #1.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So good luck with the Clue Caper. And the Clue Caper really is, as cynical as I am, and I hate everything like this, it's a cool thing. It really is.
Thank you.
Good. Greg Bass, another edition of One-on-One right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.
We're the Blue Girls!
And we're running in style!
And the great clue, Caper!
We're running wild!